Okay, so we're gonna do another video here. I feel like I don't really care for this AOC lady, but AOC confronts EPA on water pollution near Meta data center. The color of this water took me back to a video I did the last few days or last week or whatever it is. The lady that got arrested for posting pictures on her Facebook or on some kind of Facebook and saying that something needs to be done about the drinking water, and they arrested her, which she ended up getting out of it. But I wonder, do they have a data center near them? But let's see what AOC,
Assistant Administrator Kramer,
I don't really care for, has. See what she has to say. And I gotta unmute. All right.
You are in charge of the Environmental Protection Agency's Office of Water, correct?
Correct.
And in your written testimony, you communicated a value that I think we all appreciate, which is that a top priority for EPA is ensuring continued drinking water safety, right?
Correct.
And this is a bedrock foundational value of the EPA, and it's one of the big reasons why it exists. I also appreciate your commitment to clean water specifically. In fact, you said it very well on a MAHA action call just last month that, quote, "When I turn the tap on and when every American turns the tap on, there should be confidence in what's in your drinking water."
There should be, but I feel like there's a lot of shit they put in our drinking water that don't need to be there, even whenever it looks safe and it looks clear and it feels like it's something that we can drink. There's all kinds of invisible chemicals and stuff that, I mean, chemicals like chlorine that is way too much in our water, and taking a 15-minute shower is worse than drinking the chlorine in the water. It's crazy, but we're also drinking it anyways.
And I think that's a value that we all share. I wanted to ask you, while I have you here, if you've been receiving complaints or if you are aware of folks reaching out about data center construction impact on drinking water quality.
I am aware.
You're aware. And what are some of the things that you're seeing and hearing?
So one of, I think, the biggest concerns is related to water availability, which is why we recently relaunched the Water Reuse Action Plan 2.0 to focus on ensuring that whether it's data centers or
anything about water quality, though?
I'm not aware of that.
Okay.
Probably because they don't care.
Are there any complaints? I mean, are you observing any negative impacts on data center construction on water quality for Americans?
I don't think anything like that's been raised to my attention.
Okay.
You know, this has got to be the smartest I've ever seen anything out of AOC. This has to be like the most intelligent thing that I've seen from her being filmed, because usually she's on the other end of the questions and it doesn't ever look so good.
I would like to do so. A few weeks ago, while Congress was in recess, I visited Morgan County, Georgia, where Meta is building a massive data center campus. They are clear-cutting forests and began heavy construction, including explosive blasting. And families in the area are starting to see not only their water pressure decrease, to your point about water availability, but their appliances are have all stopped working because it is decimating their water quality. They now rely on bottled water to drink and prepare meals.
You know, our water's not the greatest. We use bottled water. Shout out to Ozarka water. Ozark or Ozarka, whatever it is. Water out of Texas, I think. That's what we use to drink. And we do have a filter on our tap water for cooking and stuff. It's not that bad, so we still use it, but
And
I get it.
nearby residents' water bills are expected to increase by 33%. In fact,
They're expected to increase. If our water bill goes up, I'm drilling a well.
I have a jar right here.
Wow. Like I said, the most intelligent I've ever seen this lady.
This is the current drinking water in Morgan County, Georgia. Right after a data center was constructed, the Meta data center was constructed, the only difference between the clean water and this was that data center.
That's nasty. That's you know, if a foreign entity came into proximity of your area and was doing that to your drinking water, you'd wage war on them. But since it's a data center, I guess it's okay, right?
I have another one as well. So this wasn't just one well. These wasn't just one family's situation. This is
Well, is this from people? Is this from people with their own wells? And this is the well water coming up out of the ground because it's been contaminated and polluted to the point that it's in the ground? If so, that's a problem. That's not even like negligence on a water company's behalf or whatever. That is wild. If it's not negligence on a water company's behalf from not filtering it well enough or can't filter it all out, and this is individual people's well water that was fine before and now it's not. Ooh.
This is what the drinking water now looks like next to that data center. And I think both of us can agree that neither one of these things are drinkable. These families now have to ship, in a rural area, have to ship water to their house.
Almost guaranteed if they're in a rural area. And she mentioned something about a well. They're bound to be on their own well water
In order to cook and bathe themselves. Now, I'm curious if the EPA plans any investigations on how data centers are affecting water quality and availability. I understand what you said about the rule, but are there going to be any open investigations on this issue?
So as soon as I get back to the office, I will be looking into exactly what you've just talked about, because anywhere, whatever type of construction it is a priority to ensure that water quality standards established by EPA are being met. And so we'll be looking into that certainly.
Thank you. I sincerely appreciate that because I think this is of utmost importance, and we're seeing this happening across the country. I'd also like to ask about the administration's push to build more data centers by fast-tracking construction. Because the administration's been issuing.
How many data centers do we need, realistically?
Executive orders to fast-track data center construction when we know that water quality is encountering major issues. Are there any mandates for data centers to do water quality testing prior to construction?
Of like coming from a public water supply, drinking water supply sampling?
Wells, yeah.
I'm not aware of anything like that. However, it doesn't.
Second time she mentioned wells, I can almost guarantee that water comes from individual families with their own wells, and the groundwater is contaminated.
I mean, I'm just not aware of it. Might exist, but I'm not.
Of course. You know, I think it's important that, you know, you as an agency official, we have to make sure we're doing these investigations. And then us, on a congressional level, I'd like to note that I think it's of utmost importance that we also launch congressional investigations into this matter as well, so that we can partner with the EPA and ensure that the drinking water for this country continues to be safe and accessible for the American people. So thank you, Administrator.
Thank you.
Like I said, I'm not a AOC fan. I really don't like 99% of what I've heard come out of her mouth on a video. And maybe it's from people who like to just take her bad moments and clip her in a bad light. But the things I've heard don't excuse what she says just because that's what was clipped. Like, I'm still not a huge fan, but this has to be the most intelligent that I've ever seen witnessed out of this lady. Kudos, Miss AOC. Still don't like you very much, but kudos.